Last thing I wanted to ask you, Mo. Could Anthony Edwards be the best player in the league one day?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's just he's got. First off, forget about the fact I love him.
Yeah.
I love everything about him. The personality, he's fun, all that stuff. There are things he has to get a little bit better at, but he could definitely be the best player in the league. First thing I love about him more than anything else is he plays both sides of the ball or both sides of the court. Like that's one of my favorite things, man. Like we have too many players. We've made this phrase two-way basketball player when that really should just be a basketball player, and we should start using the phrase one-way player. You only play on the defense or you only play offense. Like he is a full-on well-rounded basketball player. Yeah, his help defense is a little bit shaky. His off-the-ball defense, not great. But like when he locks in, he's awesome. I think what you're seeing in his development across over the past few seasons, he's constantly working on his game, which is something that helps you to become that thing. I don't think there's I don't know if he'll get there because also a lot of competition when you look around the league. But I think he's right in that mix where he can definitely be one of the best basketball players ever, like on the planet in the current time. Right. Excuse me, I got too excited. Not ever.
One of the best players in the league. I mean, he's already there, right?
Now.
He's already top 5, 6, 7, wherever you want to put him. He's clearly, I think, in that top group of 7. But look, he's 24 years old. Only 2 years older than Victor Wembanyama. Everybody assumes Wemby's coming, and he's coming. But I do think that there's a games played and availability thing lingering with Wemby where you don't have that concern with Ant, right? And just if we're going to split hairs in terms of who is the best player on the planet a couple of years from now, I'm just saying that could come into play. Yeah, Luka's 26, Shea's 27. Like those guys aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But would it be crazy for Ant to pass Luka next year? No. Shea's where he's at. Jokic is 31. I don't know. I think in 2 or 3 years, when Ant is fully in his prime at 27, 28 years old, I think we could talk about this guy as maybe the future best player in the league. And it just kind of feels like we all appreciate Ant for who he is, but we don't really talk. Like, I think we were kind of here with Shea a couple of years ago. We're like, wow, this guy's really good. What a great scorer this guy is. I don't think a lot of people saw Shea becoming arguably the best player in the world, winning MVPs. And I do think that that's in the cards for Ant. He's third in scoring. The thing that he has to do is figure out the playmaking part of this. He's got the worst assist to turnover ratio of anybody averaging 25 plus points per game this year. Only Markkanen averages fewer assists per game among that group. I think with the playmaking of anything, he's taken a step back in that department, and it's starting to feel like Minnesota may have decided that they don't necessarily want to develop him as a primary playmaker, which would be strange because everybody in Ant's position over the last few years, a scoring guard, those teams kind of develop their scoring guards as their primary playmaker / initiator. Like Ant might be like the last true shooting guard in this respect, if this is indeed where Minnesota is going with this. And that, I think you could still be the best player on the planet in that way, but I think the big piece that has to come is the playmaking, obviously, with him.
I don't agree with you on that. I think part of it, one, he's put in more effort this year in trying to be a playmaker. I think the problem is also the roster, right? And it's kind of similar a little bit to Cade, and he's not as good as Cade in the playmaking. Cade came in as a point guard. Ant did not come in as a point guard. So it's already on 2 different levels to begin with, and he'll probably never be at the level of Cade as a point guard in that sense. And I don't think Ant's going to be a point guard. He's going to be a shooting guard with playmaking abilities. But you're seeing that stuff kind of develop. It's a few months ago, but John Krasinski wrote a great piece about it in the crunch time, and Ant was literally talking about a quote. Yeah, I held onto the ball too long there. I should have hit the pocket pass to Randall or something. It was like along those, but like he's thinking it, which is the first step, like the first kind of process in that stuff. And again, he's 24. He's never had to do that. And then on top of that, he is seeing double team after double team after double team. Like it is a very difficult thing to try to develop the playmaking because your kick out passes to Rudy Gobert, right? And like You know, like it's
He's not always
hard.
playing in a ton of space. Yeah.
It's hard in that sense. I don't think they're not trying to develop into that stuff. I also think at a certain point too, it's like, well, shit, man, you just got to go get us a bucket.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's kind of the situation that they're in and trying to sort out how they go through all of this stuff. I think that's the stuff you want to see. I think over time he'll get there with the playmaking stuff, but I also want to see him add other stuff. I want to see more post ups from him. I want to see him kind of become more well run. But again, it goes back to what I said. He genuinely is trying to do more.
I love his competitive level. I still find my mind is still blown that he just became a good 3-point shooter overnight. Like arguably the most prolific 3-point shooter in the league.
But it's not even overnight. It's he worked his ass off to get there,
seemingly
and then it appeared overnight. Right?
Yes, exactly. He's crazy. Like in terms of his talent level, to me is off the charts because he does have the capacity, I think, to do anything. Now, in terms of playmaking, you're right. He's never going to be that super level Halliburton type of playmaker. I think he can get to a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander level of, hey, just consistently make the right read at the right time. Use your scoring ability to become a better passer. I think Shai's a good passer. He's again not at that Halliburton, Luka, LeBron level passer. That to me, I think, is the ceiling of where. And by the way, if he gets there, plus all the scoring, and then what he could do defensively, yes, best player in the world, absolutely in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I feel like he has all the tools and gifted, you know, with this stuff. And I think the drive, let me just go back to the All-Star game. Because like this was a thing where like going into this All-Star game, I written him off because I've seen him before not give a damn about the All-Star game, but to his competitive nature. Once Wemby brought it, he brought it, and he amped it up to another level in the way he was going. And you got to remember, going into this, he literally was quoted. Somebody asked him, like, "You're going to play hard?" He's like, "Man, it is what it is." I threw my hands up when I heard that quote. I was pissed. But then watching him, like, you saw the competitive nature of him trying to do that and things like that. That's why I think it's going to come. I hope it continues to go. I love the way he's trying and understanding that I need to get better. And this is the guy the knock on him in the draft was he doesn't care about basketball. Obviously he does, right? I think that's finally been disproven.
And I was against that when I heard that in the draft. Watching that guy at Georgia, that guy cared at Georgia. I mean, that guy at the end of games for a bad Georgia team was picking up the best player on opposing teams. I was like, this guy really cares. Like the competitive will of this guy is off the charts. I was all in on it then, and I'm all in now. I love the Chalamet effect on this young generation of players, right? You heard Chalamet at the award ceremony talk about, hey, I want to be the best. I want to win all the awards and all these things. There was a moment there with our millennial
Chalamet.
It's the Chalamet effect. It's that generation. They actually want. They're not afraid to want it. They're not afraid. And there's a whole generation of NBA players that were just too cool for school, right? Too cool for the All-Star break. Didn't want to do the dunk contest. You have guys like Wemby and Ant who aren't afraid to care. They're not too cool for school. And I love that. They're not afraid to say, you know what? No, I actually want to be great. I want this greatness. And they're not afraid to share that and voice it. It's the Chalamet stuff, man. It's the Chalamet effect.